It's been over 6 months. That's a long time. We weren't planning on being so absent, but these things happen. Hi. Hello. Welcome back to the Black Gate system. Um, Sorry, I don't talk much when I'm in front. That's gonna be the case for a lot of people. My name is Darkazarth. My pronouns are it's, he, him, and they, them. I am I'm like a shadow demon, but also a Cambion, sort of. I, I, I'm really confused about my own species, but whatever, it's fine. Today I'm gonna be talking about headmates that form from dreams or nightmares because it's an interesting topic and it's a very common talking point of fate claimers to be like, oh my god, you just had a dream. You're not actually a system if you, or it's not actually a headmate or whatever. Or just whatever they think. They're just like, oh, you can't do this because it's just a dream. Like, dreams are nonsense. They don't mean anything. Yep. Um, Not necessarily. Not at all. Dreams can mean a lot of different things to different people. It depends on who you ask. And it can mean a lot to systems, and it can also, excuse me, they can also serve various functions depending on the system. So you can't exactly dismiss them like that. In fact, uh, dreaming is actually an integral part of, um, you know, keeping your brain clean, for lack of a better term. Well, actually, quite literally, because your blood and cerebrospinal fluid is actually being kind of like washed, like kind of rinsed out of any waste while you are in REM sleep. So that is actually very important, and that's why sleep is such a, necessity to humans. Not very much for shadow demons, really, though. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about dream formed headmates. Let me get on. I'm gonna cheat and go on Pluralpedia. Hold on, because I'm pretty sure there's terms. Oh my god. Try not to. Try not to get the hiccups either. Oh yeah, there's a lot. Let me see. Eject. What is that? Ah, here we go. Okay. A somtive, SOMTIVE. Uh, Probably throw that up on the screen, a screenshot of it. Is a system member who came from a dream, as may happen in dreamway systems, or was interjected from a dream, usually a night dream instead of a daydream. And then a dreamway system is a dreamway system is a type of gateway system. The primary distinctive aspect of such system is its particular structure. Possible worlds to be accessed are comprised, wow, words, of daydreams and paracosms. I think I said that right. There's no limit to the amount of paracosms systems may be able to access. Each world may exist on varying levels. So obviously you don't have to be a Dreamway system. You can just be any system, and you can have a somtive or a Dreeject as the alternative term. Just whichever one you want to use, really. So really, any sort of dream can bring on a new system member, and I'm gonna talk about my origin from a dream, and then I'm yeah. Ooh, wow. brain lag a little bit. And then I'm going to talk about, you know, how dreams may be able to function for a system. So just strap right in. I promise this will be more interesting than me just fumbling for like however many minutes this is going to be. Okay. So, my origin. I started out as a entity in a reoccurring nightmare that the system had. Now, this uh, content warning, I will talk about mild, kind of unrealistic dream related gore and possession and that sort of things. I am a demon, I've said it already. I won't go into detail or anything, I will just give the most brief, descriptions of things. And again, it's not, obviously, it's just a dream, but still, it can have triggering content. So typically, these dreams would start with the host or someone else somewhere in a location in the dark, be it outside on the streets at night, or I think a couple of them would start in like a store somewhere, or like the host is just like hanging around at night and it's very dark out. Not like even like no stars, no moon, no anything, just like pitch black or whatever. And then they would find out through these strangers, these random people that the brain makes up, as it tends to do in dreams, that there is this entity that's invisible and is possessing people. Typically, more weak people or more vulnerable people, per se. I remember possessing a lot of kids because, obviously, like the symbolism there, like something that needs to be protected, and possessing them and all that sort of deal. And, it's just the classic tropes of, demonic possession. You kind of have like the contortion going on, like running on all fours, on, scarily long limbs and all that, and, darkened eyes, and, just inhuman things, and like wide open jaws, and, typically there was also a portion where they would get in the car with like the family of whatever, individual was possessed. So like maybe if it was like a child, it was their siblings or something, and they would drive away while, they're being chased by this possessed child. And, it was that sort of thing. And it typically would, I would say, we've had this dream before I actually interjected. I think we had the dream roughly 5 to 6 times. I'd say in about half of them, or a little under half, that there was a resolution that was them, banishing me out of whoever I was possessing. And then, like, I can't really remember what happened after that because I was just this entity, and I was something that had formed within the brain to, represent maybe a past trauma or stressor, or, try to grapple with these negative emotions, such as, fear and anxiety, and, these very, again, vulnerable people being taken advantage of, and, twisting into something horrific. And the more I talk about it, the more I realize it's actually pretty fitting. So that's great. I'll have to make a mental note of that. We'll have to bring that up in therapy, perhaps. But again, not here to trauma dump. Just that's just what the representations are. And I refer to the entity I was before I actually interject with I pronouns, like first person, because I do still very mildly identify with it, but I still am very much changed as a typical interject would be. So I'm not the same demon I was. That's kind of hilarious. I'm not the same demon I was. In the dream, I have changed and stuff. I don't really possess anybody anymore except for my partner, but that's always consensual to like I don't even know, just do it. It's like an equivalent of having the zoomies for both of us, if that makes any sense. But anyways, so this dream occurred anywhere from 5 to 6 times until eventually, one day, the host Mel was like, "Hey, what if I made this into an OC?" And everyone was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool. Like, it's not an uncommon thing. Like, we'll take people from dreams, or we'll take entities from dreams or something, and turn them into OCs, or just like whenever like our imagination dreams up. Like, obviously, that's how a lot of people make OCs. But what was surprising was I had already interjected and became a system member without really anybody realizing it. And then when that design was finished and my name was given, because again, this is just meant to be an OC. When all that was done, it was just like boop, and there I was. I had a name to be associated with myself. I had an appearance, and there I was. And like I made myself known. I was like, "Oh hey everybody, yeah that's me. Sorry for creeping y'all out. I guess if I don't, it wasn't even really my choice." And it was like it's really hard to explain, but that can happen. Like I guess I was a fragment or something, just like this little piece that, nobody really knew about, and I didn't have an appearance or anything, and I wasn't really doing much, but when Mel made that, you know, like gave me those things, there I was, and I was able to form. And guess what? We haven't had any of those nightmares since. How about that? How cool is that? We don't have the nightmares anymore. So upon me becoming a headmate and now being my own person within the system, and developing more, we no longer have those nightmares. We haven't had them since. It's been probably 4 months, 3 or 4 months. So not too long. I'd say probably 4 months, maybe over. And we're free. Like we don't have any scary like nightmares like that anymore, which is really cool. But the point I'm trying to get to is that it's not uncommon. It's not as uncommon as people think. And to, you know, dismiss other people or dismiss people's excuse me, dismiss systems experiences. We're so used to saying people. We're still just not used to unmasking at all. Oh my god. By dismissing other systems' experiences with their dreams, you're not doing anyone any favors. I mean, again, you can't tell anybody what is going on inside their own head. It's perfectly logical for dreams to result in new headmates if you ask us. And it doesn't have to be a nightmare, it doesn't have to be a lucid dream. It can just be like your brain is doing so much all the time, and it's insanity, and you just don't realize it. And again, your dreams are like, you know, processing your negative emotions, you know, solidifying and compartmentalizing your memories. They are cleaning out your brain and like, smooth, like, kind of not smoothing. Oh my god, like cleaning out your brain essentially and your nervous system with the fluids and stuff when you enter REM sleep. I'm rubbing my face real quick. It's also just again like processing past traumas and negative emotions so they don't just plague you as badly. Now, obviously, it's not a cure all or anything, but that's why people tell you to sleep on it. They'll be like, hey, you got a problem or an issue or just something that needs to be solved, just sleep on it for a bit. Um, so it's not as uncommon, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if other systems are like, oh yeah, we had a headmate that formed from a reoccurring dream, or even just a one-off dream. Because if the brain can do all of that while you were dreaming, if the brain can, clean itself, organize memories better, if it can, make it easier to retain things, if it can process negative emotions, if it can do all that, then we don't see why it wouldn't be able to, you know, create headmates. And even probably in singlets without them really knowing it. Or maybe, I say singlet, but they would be a system without knowing it. Um, just, if, maybe you have a dream and then suddenly you might be repressing a headmate because you're like, oh, it's just a dream, and or maybe they're just in there hiding and you haven't really explored it because maybe you just don't feel like it needs to be, or maybe you're afraid to, or you just don't think about it too much. I mean, there's so many different possibilities of how headmates can form from dreams, and some of them, they might come in just fully formed. My partner I mentioned earlier, he actually came in fully formed and didn't need an appearance because we actually dreamt about him, fully, like, because he's a fictive and we were having a dream about his source, and he actually showed up not very long after I did. So, yeah, he showed up not very long after I did, and we, you know, were like, oh, there he is. And then he was just, when we woke up, he was in front. And that was that. And then here he was, like, that was it. But for me, it was more, I had to be given this appearance, and I had to be given, like, essentially my existence. Like, my actual solid existence within the system had to be given to me, or else I would have just remained this invisible, you know, being just in the background, not really doing anything. So, my takeaway from this is dreams can be important. They're not just these, nonsensical things that your brain makes up. I mean, sometimes they can be, don't get me wrong. Not every dream has this, like, super deep, super extremely serious meaning or anything. In fact, a lot of our dreams are actually just recollections of whatever we did throughout the day, and we forget a lot of our dreams if we don't wake up after REM sleep. I believe that's the correct time you're supposed to wake up to remember dreams. So, but yeah, it also is perfectly possible to form headmates from dreams, from nightmares, from. I mean, if you can will a headmate into existence as a tulpa or otherwise a willogenic or from spirits, then you absolutely can have them form from dreams. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise if that's how you believed you were formed. Like, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big old fat thumbs up. We're happy to be back finally. We hopefully will make more videos and not take a half a year break. It wasn't really an intentional break because we have been recording on and off, on and off, on and off, just like back and forth. We've recorded videos, we've deleted videos, we've gotten close to editing videos, or we have edited videos partially, and then we just delete them, and then we had so many things happen. 2025 has been such a year. Holy fuck. Oh my god. It's been insanity. But as for, like, non-serious things, we had storage issues on our PC. We had to get a new SSD and get ourselves more storage so we could actually store our content and stuff and not have to worry about our editing software just shouting at us every 5 minutes, hey, you're almost out of storage. How dare you try to do this? You need to get more storage and all that kind of shit. And we also just don't really ever have much private time to record because, again, we are masking and it really, really fucking sucks. We wish we didn't have to mask, but hey, we're not gonna get into all that. So please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I don't know what else to say. See you around. You can't see me, but I'm waving at the air.